What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on the No DQ Wrestling Network here on YouTube and, of course, NoDQ.com for the low price of just $0.00, which is cheaper than the WWE Network. So, damn it, you should be watching us. But watch the WWE Network, too, because it's got good stuff on it. All right. Today's show is a very different show in that one person sent in all the questions. I'm going to use them. They're good questions. This is the Greg Cherry edition of Talk Wrestling. So thank you, Greg. You always contribute to the show. It's greatly appreciated. We kind of tweeted this stuff out last night, overnight, to try to get questions to come in. And Greg sent in a whole bunch to me this morning as I woke up. So thank you, Greg. Here we go. In the last 5 years, what has been the best gimmick? So we're talking about June or July 2010-ish, or August 2010 till now. You know, if CM Punk had made it past last year's Royal Rumble, I would go with him. Punk was a great gimmick, even before that, especially with the Straight Edge Society ruling the roost like they did for the previous couple of months before that. Punk was a great gimmick. I personally like the House of Truth and Jay Lethal in Ring of Honor. They're an awesome force. They have a good gimmick there in Ring of Honor, and they're solid wrestlers to boot, which is always good. As much as I don't want to admit this, I have kind of grown fond of Ethan Carter III, EC3, on TNA Impact. His gimmick has been entertaining to watch. I don't know if it's the most entertaining in the last 5 years, but it's been fun to watch. Overall, I think the last 5 years probably have to go to either CM Punk or Daniel Bryan. Both those guys really came into their own in 2011, 2012, and really established themselves as the guys in WWE, which is the company in the world, obviously. So I'd say the CM Punk or Daniel Bryan for that one. Thank you, Greg. What is the best gimmick match of all time? Well, of all time, I would have to say the Steel Cage. And the reason I say the Steel Cage, and there's kind of an asterisk next to that entry in my log, if you will, because the Steel Cage has evolved over the years from just the classic chain fence to the blue bars to the black bars, back to the chain fence, into Hell in a Cell, into Elimination Chamber, into Six Sides of Steel, into all kinds of different incarnations of a classic cage match, evolving over the course of the last, 30, 40 years, whatever it's been since the cage match first time was introduced. I'm a huge proponent of the Six Sides of Steel. I love the Six Sides of Steel. We saw a Six Sides of Steel match at Turning Point 2004, Aaron and Mike and I, in Orlando, sitting up in the rafters with SoCal Val as Primetime Media Skipper did a tightrope walk across and did a Hurricane Rana onto, I believe it was James Storm, but it could have been Chris Harris. I'm not sure which one it was. But still, watching stuff like that was good. The Elimination Chamber has been a very effective device to change championships or establish #1 contenders over the last few years. Hell in a Cell has proven to be a very memorable piece of business. I was actually just recently watching the King of the Ring 98 on the WWE Network with people on Periscope. Thank you all for joining me on Periscope, by the way. You can find me on Periscope through my Twitter account, so just so you know for the future if you want to see me live. The Hell in a Cell, you know, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, Undertaker and Mankind, Cactus Jack, Triple H, you know, Hell in a Cell, Triple H, Chris Jericho, DX and the McMahons, you know, all the great and classic and entertaining Hell in a Cell matches over the years have just proven that Hell in a Cell has lasted for almost 20 years for a reason. It's been 10 years since Daniels, Joe, and AJ at Unbreakable. Has there been a better TNA match since? That is a awesome question. It's probably my favorite question, the ones you sent, to be perfectly honest with you, Greg. In my personal opinion, again, this is my show, so it is my opinion. My dad pointed this out. When people say on the show, it's my opinion, It's like, well, duh, dude, of course it's your opinion. It's your show. You're going to say it because it's your opinion. You said it. So, yeah, it's my opinion. But it helps the sentence along. I don't think there really has been a better match in TNA overall. There's been great TNA matches since Unbreakable 2005. There's been a ton of them with Joe and with AJ and with Daniels separately from each other. There's been awesome matches with other guys in TNA. You talk about Beer Money. You talk about, Magnus. You talk about guys like Ethan Carter III, Kurt Angle. Those guys. They've all had awesome matches. Jeff Jarrett over the years. Sting early on, in TNA. But I think overall, since Unbreakable, with the three of them, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, and AJ Styles, there has not been a better singular contested matchup in TNA since those three tore the house down in the main event of Unbreakable. No. Speaking of Samoa Joe, will Samoa Joe ever become NXT champion? Let me see. Oh, I'm out of tea. I don't know if it's necessary that Joe become NXT champion. I would like to see it personally, Greg. I personally would like to see Samoa Joe be a dominant NXT champion and really show the world that he can adapt to any style, be it Japan, be it Ring of Honor, be it TNA, be it WWE, and show that he can go anywhere he goes. He's proven it over the years. Samoa Joe is one of the greatest Samoan athletes in the history of the business, and there's no reason he can't be a great NXT champion. But right now you've got Finn Balor and Kevin Owens going to town on August 22nd, I believe it is, in Brooklyn at TakeOver. That's the focus of the NXT Championship as we sit here now. So, to speculate about Samoa Joe being NXT champion will be a moot point until we get past Brooklyn. Who was the best guest host during the guest host era? I'm assuming you're talking about Raw. I would have to say either Donald Trump or my personal favorite, Bob Barker. Donald Trump was awesome on Raw when he bought Raw and owned Raw for that week and had a commercial-free broadcast. He wasn't really a guest host, he was the owner of Raw, but still, it's like a guest host. And it was entertaining to watch, whatever it was, 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever it was, of Raw with no commercials, and it was nice to not be able to have to fast forward through a bunch of crap. Granted, there was some crap on that show still, but it was still entertaining for the most part. And then you had Bob Barker, who is the greatest game show host of all time. I don't care what anybody says about Alex Trebek, or Chuck Woolery, or that dickhead Pat Sajak, or anybody. Bob Barker's the greatest game show host of all time, and he was a funny and entertaining guest host of The Price is Raw. I thought that was a great episode of Raw. It was good from top to bottom, and he was awesome in that role. In your opinion, is John Cena at his absolute best right now? His U.S. Open Challenge has provided tons of great matches. That's been the talk of the town the last few months since Cena became the U.S. champion at WrestleMania. His solid matches with everybody on the roster that's come before him. Rusev and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Cesaro and other guys that are on the roster. He has... I don't think he's ever looked better. I think you're right, Greg. I think John Cena has really hit his absolute stride again. He was really good back about 10 years ago in 2005 when he first became the WWE Champion, but I think he's even better now. He's been a solid, not necessarily dominant, because he's been taken to the limit more than once by all these guys that are challenging him in these U.S. Open challenges. But he's been proven, that he can be a capable, defending, reigning U.S. champion. And he's taken everybody to the limit and vice versa. So credit to John Cena for being, I believe, his absolute best as we sit here. Who is the best female manager in Ring of Honor or the Indies right now? The Indies I don't follow very much. I can't really give a credible answer on that. However, in Ring of Honor, there's two that stand out. One is Vita Scott, who has been feuding with Moose off and on the better part of the last year or so. And then there's the First Lady, the Queen of the Kingdom, Maria Kanellis, who has really evolved her character leaps and bounds from what she was in WWE and turned into a credible, awesome character in Ring of Honor and in Japan, where she manages Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, excuse me. She is, and she still is gorgeous. My God, is she hot. Holy moly. She's never looked better. And the outfits she wears and the way she interacts with the people in the ring and at ringside, she's great. She's the best in Ring of Honor, no question about that. Alright, Greg, thank you very much for your questions. As far as you fit into WWE's current roster, if you got signed today, not as bad as me being in shape, but there'll be work to do for sure. Alright, Greg, thank you very much. We will see you next time with everybody else's questions on Talk Wrestling.